It's okay. Good morning, everyone. My name's Dan Robinson. I'm the Director of Media Ministries here at St. Paul's. And for our adult forum in July, we have been doing a series called Meet the Ministries. This has been an opportunity for us to highlight ministries that happen here at St. Paul's. Here at St. Paul's, we are very dedicated to our outreach ministries. We have a great number of them, and we are constantly supporting them, and they're growing. And so we thought that in this month, in preparation for our new rector, that we would take the opportunity to highlight some ministries and hopefully make you more aware of the ministries that we offer here. If you found a ministry that you felt called to you, that maybe you could get connected with that ministry. And then another thing that we are very dedicated to here at St. Paul's is that if you see a need for a ministry that we do not have yet, we would love for you to let us know, and we would love to empower you to make that ministry happen. So this is our fourth week of highlighting ministries, and so we have several ministries that will be represented today. We're going to kick it off with Shannon. Who's going to be talking to us about Parish Hall art.
Thanks, Dan. Sorry. Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here this morning. We're in the Parish Hall, and as you are aware, occasionally or frequently, sometimes, I'll say, we have art hanging in here. We have this wonderful track system, and it's nice to take advantage of it when we can. We've had art represented from various artists in our parish community. Some of you may know Andrew Kilgore, whose photographs have been in here, Catherine Barnhart, Linda Jones, photographs as well, and also friends in the community such as Leilani Law, Skip Smith, and some others, UA faculty members. So anytime someone is interested in having artwork hanging in the gallery, be happy to talk to you about it. If you have friends who are artists, would love to have you be part of the ministry as well. By recruiting artists, helping me in installing art, just keeping the parish aware of what's coming. So I was concerned at one time that we didn't consistently have artwork in the parish hall, but something Lowell Grisham said to me was that it's lagniappe, which is a word for a little bit extra, something extra. So it's nice when we can have art in here, and now that the walls have been freshly repainted, I think it would be lovely to have an exhibit coming soon this summer. So children's art, lots of ideas. And so again, my name is Shannon Mitchell, and I'd be happy to work with any of you or talk to you afterwards if you have ideas, or you can reach me through the office. Staff knows how to get a hold of me. So thank you very much.
So Shannon, very often the art that is featured here tends to be for benefit, like
Yes.
to help support ministries and things like that?
Yes, thank you. That's in my notes, and I forgot that. We have done benefits for Magdalene House. Andrew Kilgore, as you know, has featured the prison women that we minister to across the street. He's done documentary photographs of them, community meals participants, so those folks have been seen in here too. And we've done a fundraiser for Magdalene House as well, featuring other artists' work. So that's part of it.
So very often when you see art hanging on the walls in here, there's an opportunity to purchase that art, and then that is supporting other ministries of St. Paul's.
This is true.
That's wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Does anyone have any questions about the art in the Parish Hall ministry? All right. Well, then we will move. Thank you again, Shannon. Thank you very much. Next, Carol, are you ready to talk to us? You want to come talk to us? Next, we have Carol, who was going to be talking to us about the saging group.
Good morning, a few of you. Chuck, come in here. Is this on?
It is on. You just got to get close.
I speak on behalf of the Saging Ministry. People often wonder what saging is all about. In fact, we had some middle-aged people think it was the sagging ministry, seriously, and they already had felt the effects of gravity. So we tried to change the spelling to the English spelling. Sage, of course, means a wiser, older person, although I guess you could be a sage almost at any age. But saging as a gerund describes a process that we hope to become wiser through our discussions, through reflection on our lives. As most of you know, aging is not a popular topic in a youth-driven culture. Talking about getting older, even amongst your own children, if you say something, you know, oh, Mom, you're not that old, or you don't talk like that, or, you know, put it away kind of reaction. We also felt a need, you know, we have, I come from developmental psychology. We have groups for the little ones, and then the school age, and then the young teenage, young adulthood. And the issue is there anything different? Is there the possibility of further spiritual growth in old age? Can we look at our faith in light of our lived experience and make some sense of it? And so this is, we come together once a month for what I call the serious meeting. It's held in the library. We keep it very simple. We center ourselves by breathing. We offer a prayer. And then sometimes we have a topic. It might be something like sin. We tried sin a month ago. Does sin as a concept mean anything to you at this point in your life? And if so, what does it mean? Forgiveness, loss, grief. We also have become, so we stay very focused on really the question, how have we seen God at work in our lives since we last met? We don't go to politics. There's some good Republicans in there. We're not messing with the politics stuff. We have formed a small and very supportive subgroup within the church of people now who want to reflect. We come from different faith backgrounds in our childhoods. There are a few lifelong, but we even have some people from the Lutheran Church and other places. I see a couple saging people walking in here. It's been a beautiful experience. I've been part of it for the 7 years it's been in formation, along with Claire and Max Sutton and James Sawyer and Mary Charlton. We've all been charter members, if you will. We've grown into sort of support for one another. We keep our prayer list going if people need prayers. The Saging Ministry helped me move twice. I don't think they want to do a third time, but they came through with meals and help, visits in the hospital. We have a wonderful holiday party. We have a brunch in the fall at someone's home. So we do a few social things, but we're really not trying to do a lot of activities, because a lot of activities are already around here with the senior center and the library and that kind of thing, and it became redundant. That wasn't really, we really look for that quiet time, for the spiritual nourishment, for the opportunity to speak our mind without being contradicted, interrupted, without giving advice. And out of it, friendships are formed, groups are there, people are there for one another. So it's been the work of the Holy Spirit. If you feel like you'd like to come check us out, we always meet the same, here, get this, we always meet at the same time in the same place throughout the year. And why? So we don't tax our memories. So 2 o'clock on the second Wednesday of the month. And then on the fourth Friday of the month, we now meet for a brown bag luncheon, just to chitty chat, because we did find we had more of a social, we wanted to know more about the people. So we bring in a lunch and chitty chat for an hour and a half or something on the last Friday. And that's all I can think of.
So, is there anything that the church can do to help support the Saging Ministry? Is there anything we can do to help you guys out?
When I speak of the Saging Ministry, we're pretty much self-sustaining without much money. But I will say on behalf of older people, I will say on behalf of the new pastor coming in, we're going to have a window of opportunity. I sit here in a wheelchair, as you can see, and we're going to try to advocate. For instance, today, for the first time in the large print bulletin, we had the songs, the hymns that will be sung. I have rheumatoid arthritis in these hands. I've got bifocal, trifocal, whatever. By the time I get to the right page in the hymnal to sing, it's half disappeared. So I would like a little more help for visual impairments that come with old age. I get nervous every time I watch communion served because we have now brought a priest down, and that was part of it, but we have people that struggle valiantly to get up to the altar. But coming down, it is really scary to watch people try to come downstairs, which takes, as you all know as parents, a lot more balance than going up. And we're trying to get more accessible. We'd love to see doors that opened in both the Welcome Center and one side of the narthex. So I don't want to equate old age with handicapped, but we do have some overlap as we look at our church. And I think the support will be that people of all age see the need. We are all members, all these people in Saging pretty much are other ministries. They're doing Caring Friends, they're doing quilts, they're doing Sally Langford's on the vestry right now. It's not like this is a little sub-community over here. This is a very participatory bunch of people. Kathy Campbell's just come and she sings and does other things for the church. So we're very much in the church.
So advocacy is a big part of it, making sure that people understand the needs of that community, and then also, as you're saying, having different parts, different representatives in other ministries. So that's wonderful. Does anyone have any questions about this aging ministry? All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Carol. Up next, we have Mary Miller. And when they listed this for me, it said Mary Miller Ministries, because there are so many. Mary has been a pillar of our community for a very long time and represents lots of wonderful contemplative ministries. So, Mary, thank you for joining us.
Hi. Some of you know me from when I worked in the office, so I've been around a while. I brought, so I'm going to talk about like a bundle of ministries, and I brought handouts, and they're over here on this table in front of the altar that they use on Wednesday nights. So I will leave those there until after the 11 o'clock service. So if you hear something that you're interested in, but you're not sure what you heard, so you can pick up a flyer. So let's talk. Let's start on Sundays. Sunday we have a dream group. We have a dream group that meets the first and third Sundays of the month from 2 to 4 p.m. in the library, except for August. So I'm telling you about this now and then, but don't come again. Don't try to come until September, because we take a yearly break every year. We take August off. But the dream group meets at from 2 to 4, first and third Sundays of the month. You don't have to have any experience with dream work. You don't have to have a dream. You don't even have to maybe understand what it's all about. Just come and join with us. If everybody shows up, there's about 6 or 7 of us, and we work dreams. We talk about dreams. What we try to do is not tell you what the dream means, but more like help the dreamer look at the dream and hear the dream. The advantage of doing dream work in a group is because sometimes you, the dreamer, may get tunnel vision because you're focused on one thing in the dream and you don't hear or see anything else. And a group of people with all those eyes and ears, they see the dream. And we also post the dream up on white sheet so that everybody sees the dream. And we go down and we work it through and look at the images and ask questions. And we have a lot of fun, and yet the dream is very holy peace for the dreamer and the dream group. So come join us when you can. Again, there's no ongoing attendance required. You don't have to have any experience. You don't have to have a dream to come. Just come and exercise your curiosity. Now, Monday through Friday, so at the bottom of at the lower right of your epistle on the front page, it lists the worship schedule, and it also lists the prayer schedule. So I'm going to talk about morning prayer. Morning prayer is Monday through Friday, except when the office is closed. The office is closed sometimes for holidays or after a holiday. When the office is closed, our motto is, if the office is closed, the daily office is closed. Morning prayer is one of those parts of the daily office. There's morning prayer, noonday prayer, evening prayer, compline. I facilitate morning prayer every Monday through Friday in the Guild Hall. That's where the bookstore is, 8 o'clock to 8:30. Again, come. You know, if everybody shows up, there's probably about 5 or 6 of us. You don't have to know anything about in the prayer book, how it goes. We'll walk you through it, and we're very informal. We just sit around the table. You don't have to stand up, sit down, do all of that business. So Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock in the Guild Hall. And then we have evening prayer teams throughout the week. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. There's a team for each of those days or those evenings, and they help facilitate evening prayer. So like I'm on the Thursday team, but evening prayer is at 5:30. And evening prayer is just a nice break in the day, in your work day, to stop what's going on and just take a brief break and sit and be quiet and breathe and pray with some others. Again, it lasts about 20 minutes, so it's not very long, but it really is a nice break. So Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 5:30 in the church up where the choir sits. That's where we do evening prayer. And everybody's welcome. Again, you don't have to know anything about the process. We will walk you through it. There's sitting prayer. Sitting prayer is like a 20-minute silent prayer time. There is sitting prayer every morning after morning prayer in the library from 8:30 to about 8:50 or so. It lasts about 20 minutes. Again, we read from the daily office, and then we invite everybody into a period of quiet prayer, silent prayer. If you've never done it, try it. If you do it and you think, oh, I can't be quiet, well, don't worry about that. Just come and, the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Now, that's Mondays, Tuesdays, that's every Monday through Friday, every morning at 8:30. There's also something that they've begun, Lowell began this, called Shared Silence, Monday through Friday in the library at 4 o'clock. That is a time where people come and sit for an hour from 4 to 5. And a part of that, I come in on Tuesdays and Thursdays and still do a version of sitting prayer. And I'm there for 20 minutes, and then I get up and leave. But the group generally stays, for the hour. But you can come late, you can leave early. One person can't sit the entire time, so she gets up in the middle and kind of walks around, walking prayer. But that's called shared silence. So if you see shared silence on the board out in the Welcome Center, that's what that is, shared silence every Monday through Friday in the library. So on Mondays, though not every Monday, the last Monday of the month. The last Monday of the month, we have what is called a Thomas Merton study group. Thomas Merton was a monk was an author who became a monk. He was a poet. There's many, many books about Thomas Merton and written by Thomas Merton. There's a Thomas Merton shelf in the library. Our guru is John King, who is a retired professor from the university, taught in the social welfare, social work classes, and also taught death and dying, if you remember hearing about those classes. But this is the last Sunday of the month, generally. Once in a while, we skip that. And again, it lasts an hour, 7 to 8 p.m., and you don't have to have any experience with Thomas Merton or ever read anything. Just come, and if you're curious, John is our guru, and he can tell you everything and anything about Thomas Merton and history, and he goes to the national conferences and the international conferences, and we have a good time. Again, it's a small group. Probably if everybody shows up, there's maybe 4 or 5 of us. And we meet in the that's changed. We meet in the library, the last Monday of the month. So this month, in August, we will meet not tomorrow, but there are 5 Mondays this month. So we will meet next Monday night, the 29th, the 30th, in the library at 7 o'clock. So come join us. Next to lastly, we have another Tuesday group, Friends of Jung. We've had a study group here for a long, long time that reads about, talks about the psychology of Carl Jung. We call us the Friends of Jung. We meet the first and third Tuesdays of the month from September through the first meeting in June, twice every month until we get to June, and then the first meeting in June is usually our end of the year party. Again, there's schedules up here. We meet every month, first and third Tuesdays, 7 to 8:30, in the middle school atrium room, which is a room on the back side across from Jack Cleghorn's office, or behind the choir room off of the back parking lot. You are welcome. Anyone is welcome, no matter what your experience with Jung. There are people that have read Carl Jung for years. There are people that have never looked at it and have been curious. So come on down. Again, sometimes we have many as 15 or 20 people around the table, and we have a good time. We laugh and ponder a lot. There's a lot of good conversation and questions that come out of the group, and we just keep on going week from week. Every year we have a theme, and this year the theme is Flying Saucers in the 21st Century, according to C.G. Jung. He wrote his thesis on flying saucers and the occult. Again, this schedule up here will tell you each month and the times. 7 to 8:30, first and third Tuesdays of the month, starting again in September. And lastly, the labyrinth. If you look down on the floor, you're sitting on the labyrinth. These marks, funny marks in the floor, that's the labyrinth. When we clear the floor, and it's not clear very often, this is a busy place. But the second Tuesday of the month, we have labyrinth walk, a regular labyrinth walk from 7 to approximately 9:30. We've shortened it a little bit. And again, the labyrinth is a path. You walk the path. The path in here is the dark path. It will take you all over the room, and it can be a very contemplative experience, very peaceful experience. Once you're on the path, you can't make a mistake except maybe a step off, but it will lead you either to the center or back out again if you do misstep. It can be a very peaceful experience. The labyrinth allows time for us to go within and ponder a question, a problem, something you can carry. We talk about carrying things onto the labyrinth. If you're struggling with something, take that walk. You walk at your own pace, usually at a slow pace, And within that walk, sometimes you have some realizations about what to do, where to go, who, what, when, where. And we get to the center and we talk about stopping and turning and looking around and kind of breathing in, and then you can walk out or you can walk off. There's no right or wrong to the labyrinth. This lists the schedules for from August through December. Again, the second Tuesday of the month here in the North Parish Hall. The North Parish Hall, because we usually pull the walls, there are two smaller labyrinths in the South Parish Hall, in the south part of the room. These labyrinths are, I say, courtesy of Lowell Grisham, because when we were building this new part of the building, and Lowell told me one time, he's a big fan of the labyrinth, and he said, oh, we're going to put a labyrinth in the floor in the parish hall, in the new parish hall. And I thought, yeah, sure. And so sure enough, I came up here one day when the workmen were here, and they were laying the labyrinth in the floor. And he said sometime, one day when he was watching basketball, he was also had a graph in front of him, and he was playing with a design. And so those two labyrinths at the very end are really, truly Lowell Grisham designs. We say all you need to do to walk the labyrinth is to show up, put one foot in front of the other, and don't forget to breathe. We say about the breath because sometimes this is brand new to folks, and you come upon it and you think, what am I going to do and where do I go? And so sometimes we kind of tend to hold our breath. So that's why we say, just let go, relax, take one step at a time, and don't forget to breathe. So second Tuesdays of the month, 7 to 9:30. So folks, come and participate in find something that speaks to you out of all of these ministries. And again, like I say, if you are interested in something and you didn't quite catch it all, I'll leave these up here until after the 11 o'clock service. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary. So that's 5 contemplative ministries that really allow you to focus. And is there anything that you would need from the congregation for these ministries?
I think just to be open to new things. Some of this may seem a little odd to you, or it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to go there. Well, that's all right. I mean, that's what I love about St. Paul's, is it's very open, and nobody's going to stop you and check you at the door. We invite you in, and even if you only come one time, that's good. That you've been exposed to something that maybe was a little different for you. So that's what I'd say. Just take part in it.
That's wonderful. I'm pretty sure that if you were to actually engage with all of the ministries that Mary just listed, that you would be on your path to enlightenment. Yeah. Because, there is so much contemplation and centering and awareness. I can tell you that this labyrinth has been a source of peace for me many times over the last decade. When I feel like my mind is too busy, I'm able to come here and really kind of get back to the basics.
That's the beauty of St. Paul's. There's a lot of action and there's a lot of activity going on, and rush and go and let's do this. But there's also these times where you can sit and ponder and pray and maybe just walk and get some contact with your center.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mary, for all the work you do here. And the final ministry that we will highlight today is the media ministry. That's me. I get the opportunity to talk to you about that, which I'm very excited about. I would say that the St. Paul's media ministry essentially started when Amanda and I arrived here in 2006. Ron Foster was recording sermons, and then he would create CDs. Remember those? They're the round, shiny things that people used to listen to. There would be CDs of the sermons available in the Welcome Center. And that was a really wonderful thing. There were people who needed to be able to hear the sermons who weren't able to physically come to church. So Ron kind of began that ministry. Amanda and I arrived in 2006. In 2008, I came on as the assistant youth director. But in 2008, we were again struggling with our capacity issue. In the sanctuary, we can only hold 270 people-ish. And that's pretty tight. We feel like we get a little tight at 270. And so obviously for Christmas and Easter and for big funerals and weddings, we had a space constraint. And so I approached Lowell and I said, you know what we should do is put a screen in the parish hall, and we should think about simulcasting the services. So Lowell took a leap of faith, and we installed one camera in the back of the sanctuary, and then we installed a projector, and we installed this screen system. So that takes our capacity from 270, it adds another 200 seats that we are able to serve. So now we have the ability to have over 400 people in the building. And during Christmas and Easter, especially, you kind of think, well, you know, I want to sit in the church where all the action's happening. Well, this secondary space provides a wonderful alternative for people who have kids. We set up carpets in the back where the kids can be comfortable. And then we do something that I was not familiar with until we installed this system, and that's called con-celebrating. And that is where two priests are able to essentially celebrate and bless at the same time. So we have an altar here where the priest is blessing, but then on the screen, you're listening to the person in the sanctuary blessing. And I can tell you that for me, every time it happens, it just feels magical to see the priest in here moving with the same gestures that the priest in there is moving. Feels like these two communities become connected at one table. And it's really amazing. And so we are able to make that happen. And then when it comes to large funerals and large weddings, we're able to broadcast and have that same sort of connection between the spaces. So that was with one camera in the back. I was sitting in the guild hall with a joystick, driving that camera. And then I started recording the services on my personal laptop. Since we had the video feed happening, I was like, I'm going to record these services and start uploading sermons to YouTube. So I started doing that in 2008, and we kept on doing that and kept on doing that. And then the demand for those sermons grew. And so in 2013, Lowell said to me, how can we do this better? What can we do to make this better? And I said, well, we can install more cameras. That'll be a good start. And then we would be able to broadcast online live. And so in 2014, the church made the investment to install 4 more cameras for a total of 5. So we have 3 cameras in the sanctuary, and we have 2 cameras here in the parish hall. Where I am able to control them from the media office, which is right across from the nursery. So when you're walking down the hall going to or from church, you'll see me in there, and I'm happy to wave at you. And you'll see me watching 11 screens, which is what I do, watching 11 screens to anticipate and then be able to change the shots and make that sort of thing happen. So then we're recording those as well. Another big leap we made was to YouTube Live. So initially, we were using a service called Church Stream for our streaming. So we had to go to a specific website, and the window was kind of small, and it didn't have interactivity. Last year, YouTube Live really has made leaps and bounds. And it's a free service. So we were paying for Church Stream, but then I was able to contact Susie and say, hey, I have found us an alternative that has no cost associated. And so when we went to YouTube Live, that also started building an archive. So every service that we broadcast gets archived on YouTube as well. So if you've missed a service, you can always go to the St. Paul's YouTube channel and watch that service if you would like. If something great happened in the service, like a sermon that you felt really inspired by, you're able to share that with your friends. YouTube is a wonderful destination and gives us great analytics. All of a sudden, we're able to see who's watching where. And so it's really exciting because we've had an audience in England, and we have people watching St. Paul's now in California, East Coast, West Coast, Texas, Oklahoma. People who have a connection to St. Paul's are able to have a window into our service every Sunday and watch live. Our average live viewership is somewhere between 15 and 20, especially for the 11 o'clock service. We have people who are tuning in. For those who are not able to make it into church, they're able to feel connected to the community still. And then we also began setting up the sermons as a podcast. So on SoundCloud, you can go back and see and listen to all of our previous sermons as well. So you don't have to mess with video. If you're into podcasts and you love the St. Paul sermons, then you can listen to the St. Paul sermons as a podcast. So I really enjoy having the opportunity to provide a window into what St. Paul's is doing and to highlight things. And then we've had several things happen that have been very significant. I would say one of the most recent examples of that was Darren Ray's funeral. I don't know if you were all familiar with local musician Darren Ray, but he was a pillar of the musical community here in Fayetteville. He passed away. We had a packed, absolutely shoulder-to-shoulder packed parish hall for that celebration. We had 750 views online of that funeral. So we had so many people reach out and say, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to share in celebrating our friend. So, and then when it comes to baptisms, when children get baptized, they have their family members watching. We've even Skyped in godparents who are watching live, who are on FaceTime on a phone. They're being able to participate through technology in our sacred space. So the other thing that I love and that I'm passionate about is being able to help make technology sacred in a very special way. And I feel like we're able to do that. As technology becomes more of a part of our lives, we can create a sacred space in that. So as far as the media ministry goes, the biggest thing that we want to do is raise awareness. We want to let people know that if they can't make it to church for some reason, they are more than welcome to just go to our YouTube channel. There's a link on our website. If you go to stpaulsfay.org, there's a big square that says Watch Church Online. You click that square, takes you right to our YouTube anytime so that you can watch the archives. And then when you go to that YouTube, when we are live, there's one that's lit up that says, St. Paul's is live right now. And so you can click that, and then you can get a window into what's going on. Our viewership surprisingly gets much higher on snowy days and stormy days. Then all of a sudden, the ministry becomes much more popular on those days. As people feel like they can't make it. And so I hop in my Subaru and I get here no matter what so that people can have a window into what's going on. So it is a true pleasure to have the opportunity to do this ministry. And also, if there's someone who would be interested in learning about the way that the media ministry works, would be interested in being part of that, I would love to have backups. Dave McMath has been a wonderful assistant for me in times when I'm not able to make it. He keeps things going. So we always want to have that window open any opportunity we get. So thank you all very much for your attention. Are there any questions about the media ministry in particular? Yes. No, you bet. It's my pleasure. Oh, and then also, we broadcast the services, so I record the services locally. I have a local archive, and then we also have the YouTube archive. So if someone would like a service put on a DVD, I can do that for them, if there was a special service that you would like to have a physical copy of. And then also, we broadcast last week's service every Sunday and Wednesday on Fayetteville Public Television. So Fayetteville Public Television, 9 a.m. on Sunday mornings, you're able to watch last week's service. So we're reaching a whole new audience of people through Fayetteville Public Television.
I have a question.
Yes.
What is the channel for Fayetteville Public Television? So I have an antenna also, so I catch that.
Yes, so Fayetteville Public Television is available on Cox 218, ATTU verse 99, but then it too is on YouTube Live. So if you go to YouTube, everything that's being broadcast on cable is also being broadcast on YouTube. So that's another circumstance where something that was only regionally available has become nationally available, and there is a national viewing audience for that as well. And the podcast is on SoundCloud. So if you go to SoundCloud and look up St. Paul's, then you're able to listen to, and then I believe it's also available through iTunes. So any other questions? Well, thank you very much for joining us for this. Yes. Pardon? Found how you find this on YouTube? So if you go to our website, stpaulsfay.org, there's a square, as you scroll down, there's a square that says Watch Church Online, and it has like a computer with hearts in it because love comes from the media ministry. And so that'll take you right to our YouTube channel. One destination. So I'm always happy to answer questions. I'm down in my office. And I'm happy to connect you with anything. And then we also provide a little tech support too. We've had some people contact us and say, I can't quite get connected, and I'm happy to help them make that happen. Yes? Thank you. It's my pleasure. Yeah, thank you. So next week, we'll have our last week, the 5th week of our Meet the Ministries series. And then we're looking forward to hearing from Suzanne and Evan about convention on August 5th. So thank you very much for joining us, and have a great day.